Good evening, Charlton fans. I'm Ollie Groom and you're watching a very special episode of 1905 coming live from the Valley. Here's what's coming up on tonight's show. We look ahead to Saturday's visit of Lee Clark's Blackpool and hear from Bob Peters, whose pre-match press conference was earlier today. We also look back at Saturday's match at Nottingham Forest, and we're delighted to be joined live in the studio by first team stars Franck Moussa and IGOR VETOKELE. Thanks guys for joining us. Get to you in a minute, but first of all, just to remind you guys at home that you can get involved by sending your questions and comments to both IGOR and Frank tonight by using the hashtag CFC1905 on Twitter or making a comment on both YouTube or Facebook. We'll also have a competition this evening to win a signed programme from the guys. The question is, who did Frank score his first Charlton goal against earlier on this season? So send your message, your answer our way, and we'll give you the answer at the end of the show. Okay guys, let's get straight into it. First of all, welcome to a place you're very familiar with, the home changing room. Both new to the club this season. To both of you, how have you found it settling in? How have you found the first 6 months or so?
Well, it's been quite easy to settle in. We had a lot of new players coming in, and we found our way on the pitch and off the pitch also. Started playing good football in the beginning, and we had some good results also, so that's also easier to settle in.
Frank, how about yourself? You've been in the country a lot longer, but it was just a case of moving from Coventry to Charlton. How have you found it so far?
Yeah, personally, when I first moved to England as a 14-year-old, I lived in East London, and I really enjoyed my time living in London. So the only reason I moved up, to the Midlands was to play football for Leicester and Coventry. But I always wanted to come back to London at one point or the other, and when the opportunity came to play for Charlton, I jumped at it. And like Igor was saying, there's a good bunch of lads here. The atmosphere is quite good, and the results are all right as well. So it's been okay to settle in.
And you yourself, you've been in and out of the team with injuries lately. It must be quite a source of frustration for you so far. Yeah,
I mean, it's not the start that I would have wanted. I wanted to pick up or to take from my form from last year and to bring it to this club. And like you said, I've had a few injuries and it's been stuttering a little bit. But when I'm back fit, hopefully I'll be able to perform well and get on with it.
And how is the injury coming along? Are you sort of nearing full fitness, or is there a bit of a way to go?
Yeah, just a case of I had to have an injection done in my knee, and just waiting for it to settle down a little bit, then I can start jogging again and join the team for training. So not far from a comeback. That
must be your full focus now, just get fit and then make an impact, get in the team and stay there.
Yeah, most definitely. Just want to be fit, be on form, and have an impact for the team, and hopefully do well, and everybody can be happy.
Igor, you sort of came across Bob Peters before early in your career. How important was he in you joining him here at Charlton?
It was very important, to be honest. I know him from before. We worked very well for 2 seasons, and to be honest, I was in a good space in Copenhagen, so I didn't have to go away. I could stay, and but the opportunity came, and we talked a lot, and I thought it was something I had to do.
Was it an easy decision to make? Obviously, coming from Copenhagen, where you'd played Champions League, played in Europe, and come into the Championship with another mission in mind. Eventually, maybe fingers crossed, one day get into the Premier League. Was it an easy decision to make?
It was an easy decision to make, yeah, because I always wanted to play in England and play in the Premier League also, and it's a smaller step from here on to the Premier League. And with all the respect, in Denmark, the league is not that strong like here.
And what were your first impressions of the club itself when you came? I mean, did you know much about Charlton before you came here? And when you did come, did you learn a lot?
I didn't know a lot in the beginning, to be honest, but I was very impressed by everything actually, the way of working and everyone in and around the club. And I had a very good impression. I really liked it, yeah.
You mentioned just before about the difference between playing in Denmark, saying not that much of a strong league over there. I mean, what are the key differences between the Championship, England generally, English football, and playing in somewhere like Denmark?
It's more physical over here. You have a lot more teams, better teams also, and it's not a football with Copenhagen, it was more playing the ball around and waiting for the right moment to score. And over here, it's really up and down all the time, trying to score and defending all the time, getting in duels. So it's more intensive.
Yeah. I mean, you must be pleased with how quickly you've adapted to the Championship.
Yes, I am very, very pleased. Didn't expect that I would adapt that fast, but yeah, it was very nice. Yeah.
In fact, how about yourself? You've played a few different positions in your career, and in fact, whilst here at Charlton, in the few games you've played, where do you think is your strongest position? Where do you enjoy playing the most?
Personally, I enjoy playing, in a central role more than any other role. So, I like to think that I'm a midfielder who likes to push on. So, you have different positions there's a variety of positions that you can play in midfield. But anyone that's sort of central, behind a striker, behind a couple of strikers, is something that I enjoy the most. But like you mentioned, I've played on the left a few times as well, and I think I can do a job there as well.
You scored a lot of goals while you were at Coventry, some blinders. We'll get to that in a minute as well. Is that something you want to bring to this team, to score more goals, and just, do you have a minimum target when you start a season?
I do want to always score goals from midfield. I mean, that's something that I've been able to do for the last couple of seasons, and coming to this club, that was the main motivation for me to be able to bring something different from midfield. And we mentioned it earlier, I've been slowed down by a few injuries, but hopefully when I back to full fitness, I can bring something positive from midfield to this club.
We're having a look at some of your goals here. There's one there, that's tapping compared to some of the ones we've seen. But I mean, what is it about you and scoring these ridiculously, impressive goals? Some of them.
Some of them are tappings.
Not so much that one.
No, it's just a case of when you're in a good place and you're playing with confidence and you're playing believing in yourself and your ability, you will try things. You will shoot from a distance with left foot, right foot. Things will come off because you try, and you don't shoot. You don't score. So that's the sort of motto and the sort of vision that I have sometimes, where I try my luck and it goes in. So positivity, really.
We've seen one of your goals. It won the Football League Goal of the Year, didn't it? Last year, I believe it was. We'll have another look at another one here. It's against Preston North End. You're 2-1 down, and you pull this out of the bag in a typical kind of way. Talk us through it.
To be honest, I get goosebumps watching that, because that was, like you said, in the last minute of a game. We were 1-0 down away from home, and it was a point where we needed results. The team wasn't doing great, and that goal just lifted morale, for the team, and for myself, it was a very special goal, and I treasure that.
Igor, have you ever scored a goal like that?
Nah, not like that. I think my best goal was maybe the one against Portsmouth in pre-season.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of a banger, wasn't it?
Yeah, not really a type of goal scorer like Moussa from, 30 yards.
You've scored a few with your head. That's something that I guess surprised a few people here, with your ability to leap and do that sort of. Is that something you've always been able to do? Is that something you've worked hard on, being able to get above those defenders who are sort of, with all due respect, taller and perhaps stronger than you?
That's not really something I worked on, but it's true that most of my goals I score in my head, and I don't know why it is like this, but it's for a striker, every goal you score is a goal, and I don't really mind if it's with my head or my left foot, right foot, cheek, I don't know. A goal is a goal. Yeah.
When you say cheek,
yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Igor, everyone is pleased with how the season's gone, obviously, so far. But we're in that sort of mid-table position. A couple of wins can take you up. A couple of losses can take you down the table. But what do you think we can achieve this season?
That's very difficult to say now, but I think we started very well, and we were winning games also. But then we had a period where we started drawing a lot of games, and even until now we're drawing a lot of games. So if you want to stay at the top, you need to win some games that we draw, goals we get against last minute, or playing a good first half and a bad second half, stuff like that. So if we really want to be on top, we need to work on that. actually. I don't really know where we can end because it's really tight, this competition.
We've shown plenty of fight this season, haven't we, in games where we've been on the back foot. The game against Brighton stands out particularly with your performance.
Yeah.
You know, almost single-handedly dragging us back and getting that second goal, putting us back in front. You know, obviously the heartbreaking equaliser at the end that they got. But talk through that game, man of the match performance from yourself.
Yeah, it was a really good game from all the team. We worked very hard, and I was lucky to score 2 goals. But we conceded also 2 goals, and the goal we conceded last minute was very hard for all the team, and we were very down after that game.
Okay. Speaking of last-minute defeats, after that last defeat against Ipswich, Charlton made the trip to Nottingham Forest, hoping to pick up a positive result. Dan O'Hagan is your commentator at the City Ground.
Welcome to the City Ground, everyone, as Nottingham Forest host Charlton. Forest have only won 1 of the last 5 games here. Charlton come to the City Ground having won only 1 of their last 6 matches. Breaking delivery to Frank Cousins. Holds it up well. And the deflection of the strike finds its way into the back of the net. And it's Charlton that lead through Harriott. How about that? Callum Harriott, courtesy of a deflection beyond the outstretched reach of Darlow, and it crept in the corner to give Charlton the lead. Charlton won here back in March, just by a single goal to 0. Forest have won it back well. That's such a disappointing end to a promising position that for Nottingham Forest. Won their previous 2 games. They were beaten by Birmingham City last weekend. Nottingham Forest looking to bounce back. And it could be 2 here, though. Oh, Vetokele denied. Crowd getting behind their team. Teshka. Is there to be an end product here for Nottingham Forest? No is the answer, as Antonio is denied at the near post. It's Patterson. Showing quick feet. He's just looking for that bit of support, though. Fights it through Fox. Fall here for Thomason! What a chance. Golden opportunity for Thomason to bring Nottingham Forest back on level terms. Mikel Antonio, 2 for company. Oh, it's a brilliant turn. And was Patterson brought down there? No, says the referee. Oh, it's a big call from Kevin Wright. Patterson can't believe it. Touched on from Patterson. Kept alive well by Fryatt, and now Patterson again. As Fox in support. Cleared away. This is Tesha. And goes for goal! Oh, brilliant! Absolutely brilliant from the German to bring Nottingham Forest back on level terms. Nothing that Pope could do in keeping this out. It's a moment of magic just before the hour mark. Look at this. 1-1 at the City Ground. And Tesha, the former Hamburg man, with his 2nd goal for Forest. It's a beauty. Wonderful goal, and not a bad celebration as well. Fox. Charlton having only won 2 of their 10 away games in all competitions this season. The chance to break away here through Vetokele. And the flag stays down. And Harriott denied. Harriott still. Vetokele once more. Dragged wide in the end, the strike from Wilson. Goes. And it's just wide. It's Patterson involved. Tesha with an absolute beauty, rescuing a point for Nottingham Forest.
There you go, 1-1 at the City Ground, and Igor, the goal, the equalising goal, not quite as good as the one we saw from Frank earlier, but there's not a lot you can do about goals like that, is there?
No, it's a very good goal. Yeah, it's not really something you can
What
do.
more can you say, eh?
I was trying to think about something, but no, I can't really.
I guess that sums it up, doesn't it? There's no words to
Yeah.
describe when a goal like that hit. But I mean, we played very well first half, especially, didn't we? We've got the performance, and as I guess it reflects well on us that we left, a ground like the City Ground against a good team like Nottingham Forest, feeling disappointed that we didn't get the result.
Yeah, it's a little bit story of this season that we're playing a good first half or a good second half, but not a full game for 90 minutes. Because if you see the first half we played really good football, and yeah, maybe you had chances to kill the game already at half time, but we didn't. And then second half we get under pressure and we don't really have an answer on it, and we concede a goal.
And what was the mood like in the dressing room afterwards? Was there a feeling of disappointment or satisfaction that it was a good point at a good team?
Was disappointed because we started really well, and straightly after the game we didn't know why we fell back, and yeah, that's why we're disappointed. We should have won the game based on the first half, but if you see the full game, then 1-1 is a good result.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't have a great deal of service throughout the 90 minutes, but you did have one chance in the first half. We'll take a look at it on the big screen now. The cross coming in. I mean, what can you remember about this chance?
I wanted to put it second post, but if I look good at it, I think I jumped a little bit too early actually to get it at the second post. So it was quite central and a little bit easy for the goalkeeper to take it.
I guess pretty similar to the goal you scored against Reading, previously, where you managed to get a bit more height and move over. Yeah. It's fair to say that you've been very clinical this season. But you've had to be clinical because you don't get 3 or 4 chances, do you?
No.
You get 1 or 2, and more often than not you put them away.
Yeah, I get 1 or 2 chances every game, except for the last home game we played there. I had a little off day, let's say, but I think that's normal for everyone. Everyone will have a period where it's not going like you want to, or a little bit less. But I've been working very hard on that last years, because that's really a point I had to work on also. And until now, I think I scored quite a lot if you see the chances I had.
Frank, we've up there at Nottingham without the likes of Henderson, Wiggins, Bynes, yourself obviously. We lost Johnny Jackson in the middle of the game as well. They're all big players to lose midway through the season, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, this part and parcel of the game. Unfortunately, you have a squad, and then sometimes you're going to miss 1 or 2 players, sometimes a bit more. But the team, like you said, to come away from City Ground, with disappointment game. Just credit to the lads that were there and that played and did well, because that shows that there's some good players in this squad, and you can get results even when we hit with.
It's somewhat inevitable, isn't it? Especially this time of the season when we've got a lot of games coming thick and fast over the Christmas period. We'll have a look at the next 5 games now. It's quite an important period for us, isn't it? And maybe, I guess, this is the time of the season that maybe could define our season, which way we might end up going. Yeah,
definitely. I think you were speaking earlier about how far can we go this season, and of players, I don't think we got a particular collective vision, so to speak, of where we want to finish. But we know that these next few games can determine what kind of confidence we go into the new years with. So if we can get some great results over the next 4 or 5 games, then I'm sure that going to January we'll have a lot of confidence and a lot of belief that we can actually finish quite high in this league.
And when you, I think if we can get the next 5 games back up again, when you look at those, both of you, what's a realistic target points-wise? When you look at those, you look at someone like Blackpool, who are coming on Saturday, bottom of the league, but then you've got Ipswich again, who we played recently. We know what a good side they are. But I mean, what kind of haul would we be pleased with from those?
Well, I always calculate that the home games you need to win,
Yeah.
and the away games, at least a draw. But it's not always possible, but I calculate to get the points. Yeah.
We were talking about difference between someone like Denmark and England, and how the leagues work. I mean, it's 3 points separate and 6 from where we are from the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever played in a league where it's been quite as tight as that, or is that quite unique to the Championship?
It's very different compared with Denmark, because the season I played champion in Denmark, we were 9 points ahead in December, so
No looking back.
no, it's completely different over here. So it's like Moose said, you need to win 2-3 games and then you're back in the top 6. But
So that keeps it quite exciting, though, doesn't it?
yeah, it is. It is very exciting, and coming fast also. So we need to try to get that game streak and the win streak, and try to stay on top. Because if you start losing points, you'll need to go and look behind instead of ahead.
I mean, the busy Christmas period over in England is somewhat of a tradition now. The games come quick and fast. The fans have a lot of games to go to during the Christmas holidays and what have you. Is that something you're going to need to get used to? Was it the same in Denmark? Did you used to have to play Boxing Day? And
no, I used to play like that in Belgium.
Yeah.
Not that many games, but I used to play, 26th, so on Boxing Day. New Year I didn't play in Belgium, but in Denmark it was different there. So December, January, February we had no games, we had off. But I don't really mind actually playing games. That's why we play for it.
Brilliant. Okay, moving on. Bob Peters spoke to the media ahead of Saturday's clash with Blackpool earlier today. Here are the best bits.
Firstly, Bob, can I ask you about player Christmas parties? Queen's Park Rangers manager Harry Redknapp has banned them because they invariably lead to trouble. What do you think of Charlton's Christmas party this year?
Yeah, they had a Christmas party last Saturday. They all stayed at Nottingham Forest and they all came back safe and sound. So I think it's part of playing for a team in England, I think, the Christmas party. And the boys are very responsible and there was no trouble.
No worries for you then?
Not on Christmas parties, no.
Back to Saturday, home to Blackpool. Dare I say it, your injury list is growing, and I believe Johnny Jackson's doubtful with a calf injury.
Yeah.
You've also got Stephen Henderson, Royce Wiggins, Frank Moussa, Yoni Byans and Simon Churcher. Any update on those injuries?
Yeah, Yoni Byans is back into full training. He was on the bench already Saturday, but we were a bit precautious with him because he didn't train that much. Okay, now he trained the whole week, so he's going to be available for the game on Saturday. And the rest, okay, Henderson is getting better, shoulder. Okay, Johnny Jackson, he was a bit tired, his calf was a bit tight, and okay, we lost him first 15 minutes or after 15 minutes against Nottingham. Royce Wiggins is running on the treadmill, so he's getting better. And Frank Moussa is also on the way up, so hopefully in a few weeks everybody will be back into full fitness.
Is Johnny Jackson available for you on Saturday?
No, Johnny Jackson's not going to be available.
How long's he out for now?
I'm not a doctor. He's not going to be available for Saturday, and then we will assess him next week. Yeah, always hoping for Chelsea and Manchester United home. But it's going to be a tough game because we meet him, I think, 2 weeks before the FA Cup. But it's always difficult if you play an FA Cup against a team of your own championship, because I think everybody knows everybody, the way they play, the way they perform. So would have been better another division, but again, it is what it is. And first we focus on the league, and then we will see the 3rd of January what Blackburn is all about.
How much a priority is the cup for you? Because a lot of people say nowadays it's not as important as it used to be.
For me, every game is important, and especially FA Cup, especially when you play at home. I think you need to be very responsible and try to win every game. But again, the only thing is, if you lose a league game, you got an opportunity next week, or even a lot of times 3 days later. But in the FA Cup, when you lose a game, it's finished. So that's the only difference.
Callum Harriott scored last week, having impressed the week before. Do you see his long-term position as up front?
I think he's getting where we want him. Before he was a bit reckless sometimes, and he made it too difficult for himself. Okay, we've been managing him for a few months, and now I think since we see him progressing on training, we said, okay, now you're going to get your chance up front, and he's doing all right. But everybody can still progress, not only Callum Harriott. We need to aim for the highest possible and progressing with the team.
What was it about him that made you think he should play up front?
Because he has pace and he has ability, very high work rate. Sometimes he's a little bit careless on the ball, but that's getting better as well. His first touch is getting better, and now he starts to score goals as well. So I'm happy at the moment with the way he's progressing.
You've made no secret of your desire to sign another striker. You've been linked with the young Arsenal striker, Akpom. Is there any truth to that as far as you're concerned?
With who?
Akpom, the young Arsenal striker.
Never heard of him, so I don't know if we linked up with him, maybe some other people, but I never heard of him, to be honest.
Now, as Bob Peters there, he confirmed during that press conference earlier today, Frank, that Johnny Jackson won't be available for Saturday. What kind of miss is that to the team as our captain, and as well as a midfield general, if you like?
Yeah, I mean, Jack, since I've been at the club, Jacko's probably the person that makes you feel the most welcome around the place. He really represents the club really well. As a captain and as a person, he's a great guy to have. Just his presence, will probably be missed as well. But like we mentioned earlier, we're lucky to have a squad where a bit of competition, and if one player is not available, you might have 2 or 3 that will want to step up to the plate. And I think at the weekend, the people that will have a chance to play because Jacko is not playing will give their best for the team. And when Jacko comes back, then we have another good player back in the squad. You
mentioned his sort of leadership quality. When you've played alongside him this season, is he quite vocal to you in support and to all the other players? How does he work as a captain?
Like I said, from my own experience, it's just a case of, I came into the club and he's a person that, he will speak to you, he will, let you know how things work, so to speak, around the place, and is the go-to guy, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And based on that, you have a lot of trust in him, on the pitch and off the pitch, and that's just, I think you can, as a player, I can feel how the fans like him as well, and how much of an impact he has around the place. So, yeah, just a comforting presence around the team, and just good teammate.
That sort of leader, as we say, is that quite common in the clubs you've been at? It's important for someone, and we feel lucky to have someone like Jacko. But is that something you've experienced at places like Coventry and Leicester? Is there always that one character who perhaps brings everyone together like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the image that you would want a captain to have. Do you know what I mean? Some players, he's not the only nice teammate in the squad, but as a captain especially, you would want somebody that's just open to everybody, and somebody that you can feel like you can trust, because if you can trust him, off the pitch, it brings a better understanding on the pitch as well. So yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, IGOR, Blackpool on Saturday, of course. We've seen we've got a league table up there that you guys can't see, but they're bottom of a table by a bit of a way. Do you as a player look at that fixture and think this is a game we should be winning?
I don't really think that we have to look at the table that much. Like I've already said earlier, we need to try to win every home game. Doesn't matter if it's Blackpool or Norwich or Cardiff. Every game that we're playing at home, you need to try to win.
We can have a look at their last 5. I think it flashed up briefly there, but that's the sort of form they're in. They have picked up a little bit recently since Lee Clark's come in. They got their first win under him against his old side, Birmingham, last Saturday. I mean, you look at those, it's just about being professional home game, isn't it? Getting a win and not worrying about what sort of form they're in.
every game is different. That's what I've noticed already here. So one week they're playing very good, and another week you can play average. So I don't think we really need to focus on that, and we just need to focus on the game, do our job, and try to finish our chances.
Yes. As you say, absolutely nothing certain in this division. I mean, Blackpool have yet to win away, but again, that's not something we can think of because nothing's a certainty in the Championship.
Nothing is. As a player, you cannot look at the table and say, "Oh, they're first or they're last, so we're gonna win or we're gonna lose." No, every game is different, so you need to win every game and give 100%.
Frank, given just on Blackpool, given the size of their squad at the start of the season, they were really struggling, weren't they? And changing manager as well, it's been a bit turbulent there. Can you understand why they've had this sort of poor start, if you like?
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. It was quite out there in the public that they struggled to have players. They didn't have a lot of experienced players in their squad at the beginning of the season, and that didn't help. And that's why I think they were at the bottom of the league. I think they're still there now, but like you said, they've picked up a little bit now. Change of manager, things change sometimes for the positive, and the fact that they got a new manager in, a few new players in as well, they got a bit of momentum. That's only going to help them. So yeah.
And someone like Lee Clark as well. We've already come across him at the Valley this season. He's quite a resolute manager. He's had a bit of success, especially in League One with Huddersfield Town a few years back, as we saw. But he gives them a fighting chance, doesn't he, to at least try and stay up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where, we talked about the problem they had at the beginning of the season. Some people might just write them off, from then on. But you're right, a new manager comes in and a few things change around the place, and Lee Clark is probably going to go in there and give him some sort of hope and some sort of fighting spirit, and they will try to stay up and do well against us as well, I'm sure.
Okay, as Charlton were battling to a draw against Nottingham Forest, Blackpool were in action against Birmingham City. Here are the highlights.
Welcome to Blackpool Road as Lee Clark comes up against his former club. It's Blackpool against Birmingham City. Good position here for Birmingham. Through, and Lewis with the save. Down to his right-hand side. Straight through the wall it was. Good play. This is Eagles. And playing it through, and the flag is up and it's not going to count for Davies. It's a free kick from Eagles. It's a really good one. Blackpool have only won once in the last 20 in all competitions. Sole victory coming here against Cardiff. You have to go back to the start of October for that. Away by Clark. Get to life though for Birmingham City here. It's not troubling Lewis's goal, although it took a deflection. It's a beautiful ball to find Caddis. Cutting inside Caddis. And threading it through for Novak across the face of goal. And it's cleared away by Foley. Let's go up. And kept alive this here by Grounds. Put some pressure. Nella and Noseworthy. Sent back in again. May go all the way towards the back post and kept in play. He's kept him well, but nobody on the end of it to put it away. Exclaims. Put just the one win in 10 meetings against Birmingham. That was a Championship playoff semi-final. First leg win in 2012, and this is Davis! And Blackpool take the lead here at Bluefield Road. Getting the better of Robinson, and through the legs of Randolph. Really soft goal for Birmingham to concede. Murphy, direct, and on he goes, and he's straight at Randolph. That ball was moving about. And to make the save though. As Birmingham's unbeaten run of 5 games about to come to an end here at Bluefield Road. Oh, Murphy, how about this? And pound over the top by Randolph. That would have been one of the goals of the season. The corners, Murphy. And direct Murphy here, he's done brilliantly well. It's to be an end product. Randolph in the way.
Okay, before we put your questions to the guys, just a quick reminder that you can still have a chance to win a signed programme, signed by the chaps. The question is, who did Frank score his first Charlton goal against? Send it our way via Twitter or Facebook, or indeed YouTube as well, and we'll reveal the answer in a couple of, about 10 minutes time, I'd say. So guys, as we just mentioned, they've had plenty of questions all week and tonight as well, from fans on Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff, Instagram as well. So I'll get right to it. Question for both of you from Sam Clark on Twitter. He says, Frank, what's the best goal you've scored in your career? I think we might have answered that earlier. And Igor, what is your favourite goal you've scored for Charlton?
My favourite one was, I think, the first goal against Brentford, because as a new player coming in, it's always important to leave your first impression in the league. So to be able to score in the first game was very important for me and for my confidence also.
Does it play in the back of your mind when as you're making your debut or before the game, that you just want to get off the mark as quick as possible? Sorry, as a striker, who's come in, you just thinking, I just want to score, get it out of the way.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you want to score, try to help the team to win the game. But yeah, like I said, it can also show the way how your season will start.
Frank, your best goal? I won't ask you what your best Charlton goal is, because you've had one.
Anyway. No, to be honest, my favourite goal is my first ever professional goal, which was for Southend against Colchester, and it just happened to be a derby in the south. Two Essex team in a derby, and I was 18 or 19, and you just you score goals in playground, in the park, and whatever. But that feeling of scoring a professional goal, especially your first one, that buzz is something that you can obviously never forget, and it meant something because he gave the team a win as well. So it's probably my favourite goal.
That feeling of being able to run in front of a crowd and do your celebration.
Exactly that.
Igor, you've got a bit of a celebration going on. Is there a message behind that? Is that to the
It's for my fiance
at home? Yeah.
Yeah, it's for my fiance at home. Yeah.
Is that something you started just coming to Charlton, or was that something you were doing over?
No, that's something I started over here. Yeah.
Nice touch. Okay, this is from John Rees. Igor, this is for you. Do you prefer to play up front with a big target man?
That's a tricky question. I like playing with a big target man, yeah, but if I prefer playing, it depends what type of game it is, of course. Sometimes it's better playing with someone like me or Callum. I don't know. I enjoy playing with Callum. I enjoy playing with George also. Carlin also. I don't really have a type that I need. But okay, sometimes it's better to have a target man, so when you kick the long ball, he can go for the first ball, I can go for the second ball.
You mentioned Carlin there. Obviously, we're quite proud of our academy, our youth system here at Charlton. Is that something, I guess you wouldn't have known about it before, but when you came in, was that something that really impressed you about Charlton? Someone like Carlin stepping up at his age and being involved in the first team, and his ability as well, did that impress you?
Well, actually Carlin, I didn't see him train because I went away for a national team, and that's the week where he trained with us. And I came back the day before the game, saw him on training, and I was like, yeah.
How old is this kid?
How old is he? Who is he? Yeah. So I was really impressed by him, and he's still young, so he has time to come and show some good things.
Okay, another question for you, Igor, from Luke Taylor on Facebook. Yeah, he asked, why did you choose the number 14 shirt?
Well, I have two reasons for that. The first and the main reason is because my dad was also a professional football player, and his favorite number is 14. So when I was a small kid, he always wanted me to play with number 14. And when I started playing as a professional player, it never was available actually. So I had to take another number. And when I came here, I was hesitating what number I wanted to take. And then I said, yeah, why not take 14 and make my dad happy.
You said there was two reasons. What was the second reason? Thierry Henry.
Thierry Henry, the second reason,
Easy as
yeah, was my one of my biggest titles.
Yeah. Okay. Frank, over to you. This is from someone called Ewan, no second name, on Instagram. He says, Frank, who is the fastest player in the squad?
Whoa.
Igor reckons it's him.
Igor is pretty fast, to be fair. Joe Gomez is pretty fast. I think Callahan is pretty speedy as well. I don't know, maybe the boys should have a race, to be fair.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is it a discussion you guys have amongst yourself? You know, a bit of banter between who's.
To be fair, there
quick
have
and
been
fast?
some tests done, some sprinting, 10 meters, 20, 30 meters, but not everybody was there.
Ah.
Igor, you wasn't there.
So this could be officially sorted out, couldn't it?
It could be. So, watch this space.
Okay, get back to you in a few months' time, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, final question from Matt Galler on Instagram. Igor, how do Charlton fans compare to those in Denmark?
Charlton fans are very nice. Not saying something bad about the Copenhagen fans, but they were very demanding in Copenhagen. I remember we were champion, I don't know, 7-8 games before the end of the season. And the game after, we were 1-0 down, and they started shouting at us, stuff like that. But they are very nice. They're actually, very nice. But here they are, let's say, more patient, and they even support you when you're behind 1-0 down, 2-0 down. I don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're always behind you.
Yeah, fantastic. One more question. Frank, what would you see as a successful season? That's from Joe on Instagram.
I think a successful season. For me personally, it would be to obviously get back to full fitness and to actually have a real go at this league, a real go for playing for this club, and produce on the pitch. You asked me earlier, but I've not really answered that. I have my own personal targets and goals that I want to achieve, and for obvious reasons I want to keep that to myself. But as a team, I think if we can get anywhere in that top 10, I think it could be quite a good achievement based on what kind of season the boys had last year. It would be a very positive turnaround if we made it into the top 10, and like we touched on earlier as well, if we can get some sort of momentum going, that could just happen.
Okay, we'll get to a few more of your questions in a bit, but first, the last time the two sides met, Charlton and Blackpool, Callum Harriott was in the middle of a purple patch, and Charlton had just secured second tier status for another season. Here are the highlights of that memorable clash at Bloomfield Road.
One win in the last 8 league games. Blackpool looking over their shoulders. They could be relegated today. I think 3 years ago, Blackpool were a Premier League team. Standing down the back. But here they come. Glancing touch from Chris Basham. Basham looking to link up with Dobby. Stephen Dobby, big chance! Oh, so unlucky. Harriott looking to make his move. Here he is at Charlton lead at Bloomfield Road. Big goal. Down at the bottom of the championship. Callum Harriott, who scored twice in midweek against Watford. Chance here for Keogh. Looking for the support, and over. Fallen like a stone as the season has gone on. Brilliantly done here, Harriott, it's 2. Gets better and better for Charlton Athletic. But the woe thickens for Blackpool. Callum Harriott with 4 goals in 2 games. This is Pickett. Harriott, he's going to get it! Right in the corner. 3-0, Charlton Athletic. It's a superb moment for Callum Harriott. A hat-trick hero. Blackpool will have to wait to see what happens elsewhere, but they've been well and truly beaten here today by Charlton.
Shane from Callum will do nicely on Saturday. Competition time now, come to its end. We asked you who did Frank score his first Charlton goal against, and we'll pass over to Mr. Moussa now to reveal the answer and the winner. Frank?
Well, the answer was at the Valley against Wigan Athletic, and the winner of the competition is Harry Taylor.
Well done, Harry Taylor. We'll get your details and we'll send you the goodies next week. Ticket news. Tickets for Charlton's upcoming matches are now on sale and can be bought online, over the phone or in person from the ticket office. Tickets for Saturday's match against Blackpool are still on general sale, as are tickets for the matches against Blackburn Rovers, Cardiff City and Ipswich Town, as well as Brighton. Charlton fans can give the gift of the Valley this Christmas by snapping up a half-season ticket in SE7. Adult prices start at just £12.50 per game, and those interested can log on to cafc.co.uk for full details. If you can't make it to the match on Saturday, you can always listen to live commentary on our Matchday live service on CFC Player starting from 2:30 p.m, where Terry Smith will be joined by Peter Finch. After the full-time whistle, CFC Player subscribers can watch post-match reaction from Bob Peters. Also a chance to tell you that Tuesday night is the FA Youth Cup third round, where the under-18s take on Cardiff City, and it would be great if you can get down here and support the boys. More questions for you guys, but these are questions that we've had come throughout the evening. Some on YouTube. This is from Real AGC, whether that's his real name, I'm not sure. Who is the funniest in the squad, guys? I think I know the answer, but maybe polarise.
I can give you 3 names. I'll name
names.
2, he can name the last one. I'll say Simon Churchy
Simon Church?
and Laurie Wilson.
Okay. And what is about them that makes you laugh before Frank gives us?
Simon is just, I don't know how to say it. Very nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really funny. And Laurie also, jokes, I don't know, every funny guy.
Frank, number 3?
Number 3, I think, if you think about it, the same person, it's probably Andre BK.
Had to be.
It had to be. You know, he speaks French, you know, English, Spanish, and he's got jokes in all of them languages. So it's just a brilliant teammate and a good guy to have in the change rooms.
Brilliant. Okay. Next question from Royce. Not the Royce we know, I wouldn't have thought. What is Bob like as a manager? Either of you.
Go ahead.
You know, unlike Igor, it was my first experience working under him. And in the summer, when I was looking at teams to join after leaving Coventry, I had a meeting with him initially, and he just explained to me some of the principles he values and how he wants to play, and that really impressed me. And having worked under him now, he's quite a young manager, but he knows his stuff quite well, and he works quite hard because he has a lot of knowledge of what he's trying to do and what he's trying to make people do. So for me, like I said, it's the first experience, and so far so good.
Mm-hmm. Igor, I'll aim this one at you. In training, who is harder to face, Tal Ben Haim or Andre BK?
That's a difficult
Who's
one.
tougher?
That's a difficult question. Do I need to choose someone?
Yes.
I'll say Tal.
Tal.
In the game, Andre sometimes, on training, Andre sometimes chills out. But now they both are great defenders, and we know each other very well. So training, it's difficult to play against each other.
Okay. I mean, is someone like Andre? I mean, when you look up and you're running with a ball and you see Andre BK, is that quite a scary image? Or?
It is, certainly if you see him coming towards
you get out of the way.
It can be scary, yeah, you get out of the way. But yeah, Tal is just someone who never gives up. And even when you think you passed him, he can come back and clear the ball.
Okay. This next question from Finn FC18 on YouTube, I'd guess. He asked, do you feel Charlton can get promoted this season or next? Either one of you can answer that one.
I don't know about next season. This season, Well, let's say in football everything is possible.
Maybe.
So
Maybe is a good answer.
if we believe,
Sit on
we
the
all
fence.
believe in it and try, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. Final fun one from Sean Doran, who asks, what have you asked for Christmas, guys? What have you asked Santa Claus for? Frank, start with you. 3 points on Saturday against Blackpool?
Yeah, I got a long list, but yeah, that's probably at the top of my list. Yeah, that we win on Saturday. That'd be nice.
Igor, you can't say that now. So you need to say what do you want? What are you after for Christmas?
Christmas, just stay healthy.
And a healthy family as well.
Nice and cheap. That won't cost a lot of money.
Nah.
I'm sure your family will be delighted.
Yeah. It will be.
One more question, late one in from a Mr. Johnny Jackson, who you spoke very, very kindly of before, Frank. But he does ask you. He wants to know if you know where Lapland is.
Yes, I do actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny he's asking that question. He's in Finland,
He's in
and
Finland.
I know that because he told me that earlier.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing you said something else. And,
Nah.
this is based because Johnny Jackson appears in the quiz, a very special Christmas quiz in the Valley Review on Saturday, and that is
Yeah.
one of the questions. So
Yeah.
I'll ruin the answer, but I'm guessing that's why he was asking you guys.
yeah,
We'll find out the truth behind this.
we will do.
Wonder what you said. Guys, the fun doesn't stop there, obviously, here on 1905. I'm going to pass you, Igor, I explained this to you before, didn't I? But Frank, I think you were in the toilet, so you missed out. You have your name on one side and your teammate, Igor and Frank, on the other. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and you have to see how well you know the answer. I'll ask you, for example, who is the better singer? You have to say either Igor or Frank. So, who is the better singer? Igor thinks it's Frank. Frank thinks it's Igor. That, to me, smacks of desperation of two lads who don't want to give us an example.
No.
Of
Definitely Igor.
Have you heard? Well, Frank, I'll ask you. Have you heard Igor?
Yeah,
out
we had
tune?
the obviously initiation when you first signed for the club. We were in pre-season in Marbella in Spain, and I really enjoyed Igor's version of I think it was Drake.
Yes.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Okay. And Igor, what did Frank? What did he sing?
Oh, what did you sing, Frank?
Oh, it was the guess.
Still have it on my phone. But let me
Akon.
think. Akon, yeah.
And do you want to give us a little rendition now? Or?
Go ahead.
No, that was the initiation.
Well, we have our own initiations here on 1905. Okay, all right, next question. Who speaks the better English? You're both fluent, but you think Frank?
I think I've
Yeah.
Start.
so,
Igor, well, I mean, obviously you haven't lived here long, but you know, you're fluent in quite a few languages, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you pick them up? Where do you pick them up from?
I won't say on the street, but yeah, at home, family, school, everywhere. Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Speaks Portuguese, English, Dutch, German, French,
Any more?
Lingala. What else? Yeah, I understand Spanish, but
But you don't speak it. Frank, how many do you
no
speak?
poquito, no poquito.
I feel I'll be humble there because I only got French and English, and a bit of Flemish from Brussels.
Yeah,
And
that's
yeah,
one.
that's
All right.
about it.
Do either of you play FIFA? You video gamers?
Nah.
A little bit,
So I guess the answer who's the best at FIFA would probably be Frank.
I guess so.
Fair enough. Okay, worst driver. Who's the worst driver? You've stuck with Frank. You said no good?
I've got points on my license,
You don't have to
Oh, you
say
got
that.
points.
That doesn't need to be revealed
but
here.
he hasn't.
Okay, well, again, that's something that can be proven.
I'm Lewis Hamilton.
And
eh?
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The difference is you're Lewis Hamilton, you drive fast but you get away with it.
maybe.
Okay, fair enough. Who's the most intelligent?
Intelligent in.
Not a lot of-
In what sense? Okay?
Intelligent. I think Igor wants to say Igor.
I just leave it.
You think you're both,
Yeah.
and Frank just thinks it's you. So
He is intelligent, but No,
he's got languages.
you got more
you
knowledge
got
of.
behind you.
Hmm?
You got the languages behind you. So that gives you 1 point.
I know Lapland.
Frank, you know where Lapland
I know where that is.
So that's 1-1. So that's
I think it's a fair draw there.
Okay, we'll give you that. It's the first ever draw we've ever had. Next up, who sleeps the most? Who spends most of their time in bed?
No, come on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You a bit of a sleeper, Frank?
Now, to be fair, we roommates when we go away, and he does wake up before me for breakfast, so that's why I say I sleep the longest.
Okay, dudes. Right. Next one. Who is the most vain? That language barrier.
Yeah.
Vain. Who cares about their looks the most? Who, is most image conscious between the two of you? Frank, no hesitation. Yeah, you say to you as well?
Yeah.
It's important to look good.
It is.
Important, yeah. Vain though?
Okay, but you just think it's more important to Igor to look good than it is?
Yeah.
All right.
I agree.
Okay. Question number 8. Who is the better dancer? This is an important one. Igor? Yeah. And do you want to prove that now, or?
Yeah.
Nah.
Where have you seen Igor dance, Frank?
Oh.
Yeah,
we just had a Christmas do just now.
Yes.
And wow. That's what I can say.
That good.
You have to see it to believe it.
Are we sort of body popping? Are we break dancing? Is it just, or is it a little bit more classical? Is it a foxtrot or?
No, all sorts. Depending on the music, it just goes. I'd love him to demonstrate, but it's up to him really.
Is that something you're particularly proud of, Igor? Your moves on the dance floor?
No, not really.
See, not vain at all.
Nah.
Not vain at all.
I only dance when I go out.
You do what you have to do.
Maybe I should dance after a goal. Next
Celebration, yes.
Yeah.
Next goal, you have to do
Next goal.
a special dance for the viewers
Okay.
at 1905. Exclusive. Good, I like when that sort of stuff happens. Who's the loudest out of you two?
The what?
The loudest.
The loudest.
Yeah. I've got to agree, yes.
Just about.
Now, neither of you want to talk, which is
Just about.
trying to prove a point. All right, who's the messiest? Obviously, you share a room when you're away. Who's picking up after the other? Not that you'd have to, but
You call me messy, man.
Nah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Conflict.
Yeah. Not coming.
So clearly, you're both as messy as each other. That's fine. Final one. Who is the best cook? Yeah. What's your special dish, Frank?
Me, I do a mean spag bowl with chorizo and a twist of special ingredient.
What's that?
It's a special ingredient, but it's more of a secret ingredient, I should say.
Okay.
So you have to
So
taste
we're
it.
not going to know. All right.
You have to taste it.
Fair enough. Igor, special.
I
special
used to
dish?
be a good cook, but now I got my fiance cooking for me, so
Lazy.
I can make duck, everything.
You make that.
Pasta with salmon.
Is this your fiance or you?
Me.
You.
Me. You can ask her if you want.
Okay, impressive. All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Before we leave you, there's this time again. Thank you, Frank and Igor, for joining us, and you for watching. Wherever you are on Saturday, remember to cheer on the lads against Blackpool. Good night.